you have to be interested in your characters in order for them to be interesting to somebody else. If you're bored with them, then other people may well be bored with them because then you haven't found out what makes them tick and why they intrigue you in the first place to pull you along for the ride. So just to wrap that section up, his name is Conrad, not the boy, right away. His relationship to his mother, as perceived by his father, but as also perceived by his actions, because he runs to her for shelter, and the father thinks of him as a mama's boy. Um, that she's not a body part, her bottoms, right away. She's a formidable woman, Maud. Um, yeah, fleshing out the dynamic between father and son, and indirectly son and mother, and also indirectly father and mother, because he could have, the fact that Conrad ran behind Maud to hide gives Cleo pause even before the knife enters the chat, right? Like, so he knows, don't just push past her. He knows that he's going to have to negotiate with her. And that tension is set up right away, or that's the intention anyway. Just from that first section, I would say in terms of building character, start writing. Like as I said, this started out as a scenario, getting a writing flow with whatever, just allow it to flow. Don't try to figure it out at first. And then when you're going back to it, or at some point, even when you're in flow state, um, you'll get some specificity in terms of who these people are if you listen to what they're trying to tell you about themselves. Just in the initial setup, what does Conrad want? He wants to escape a beating. What does he do? He runs and hides behind his mother. Why does he do that? Because he knows that she is safety, she is shelter. And he also knows that his father is probably a little bit afraid of her. Cleo, what does he want? He wants to punish Conrad by giving him a beating. Why does he want to do that? We don't know that yet, but we do know that he thinks Conrad is own way and don't listen. So some we know that Conrad has done some. We can guess that Conrad has done something that he's been told not to do. Who is What does Maud want? Maud wants always to protect her children. In this point, we've only met Conrad, but she wants to protect her son. So she doesn't know what he's done, but she knows that her primary objective is protect her son. So the knife tightens, her hand tightens around the knife. She doesn't have any details yet, but she knows that nothing is going to come between her and her son. Nothing is going to pass her. You shall not pass. It'll be like that. Like what? Stop. My boy's behind me. So this is the dynamic right away. We're getting a sense of who these people are based on what they want, what they will not allow to happen, what they're afraid of, what they choose in relation to what they want. All these things, all the questions we have about them, um, and how they act in response to those questions begins to tell us who they are. So you have to spend time with your characters and feel them out and allow them to react. When Cleo says to Maud, he and Sweeting was up by Jumbi Pond, they know they're not supposed to play there. That becomes in the final draft. He and Sweeting was up by Pond. They know they're not supposed to play there. So there's a pause between by and pond, and he doesn't say Jumbi. Because what I realized is that the space gives an emotional note that what he's saying is costing him something. He doesn't want to talk about it. It speaks to a certain pain. And that he doesn't need to say it speaks to a certain understanding between them and an acknowledgement that there are two people, that perhaps the only two people in the village who would not say Jumbi to refer to the pond, because the Jumbi at the pond, spoiler alert, would be their son who drowned at the pond.